here in front of my house in kind of an awkward area. You see, I have this little stoop right here in front of our dining room where we have this French door. And it's not a very wide area, so can't really use it as a patio or anything like that. But it does have this one corner right here where previously I've just put a little pot. And that always kind of doesn't really fit in this area because the pot is just too small. So I went out and bought a larger planter, and it's actually up on a little stand. And what I'm going to do is create my own mixed container and set it right here in this area. And then later on, I might actually put some smaller pots in around the bottom of it to kind of fill in the area. But today I'm going to be kind of using a classic container technique, and that is the fill, spill, and thrill method. So I've got some plants that's going to spill down over the side, some that are going to kind of fill in the midsection, and then the thriller plant is one that's going to get really tall and kind of fill in the background. So let me show you what I'm planting because it's kind of unique. Okay, so first off, how this corner is kind of oriented when you're walking up to the house means that actually this front corner you're going to be seeing first. So I'm going to actually plant this, even though it's a square planter. Instead of kind of going this way, I'm actually going to plant it diagonally. So to spill over the front of it, I've actually chosen two different plants. I have some Ipomoea, or ornamental sweet potato. It's a vining sweet potato. And this is a variety called Sidekick Lime. So it's going to go right here in the front corner, and it'll spill down over the front. On each side of it, I've also got some lemon coral. And this also will kind of grow out and spill down over the sides. So I'm going to do like a lemon coral there. And then we'll match it up with one over here. Then to fill in the midsection, I had to kind of think about it because this corner, it doesn't receive hardly any sunlight at all. The front side of my house faces north, and this corner actually faces east. So it gets a little bit of morning sun, kind of in mid to late summer, and that's about it. The rest of the day it's in the shade. So I ended up going with Impatiens, and I'm going with two different colors of Impatiens. I've got this is Impreza Blue Pearl, which has more of a purpley tone to it, which it's actually kind of close to the 2022 Pantone Color of the Year. And this is kind of the color scheme that I'm going to go with here in my front yard this year. And then I also have some white Impatiens to mix in with it. And these are just Super Elfin White. So I'm going to plant these kind of randomly in the middle. And then that leaves me with the Thriller. And the Thriller is an ornamental grass. And this is a variety called Prince Tut. And it'll take full to part sun, but it's going to get about 30 inches tall. So it'll be all the way up off the camera view once it grows out. So I think with this kind of tiered selection where I've got stuff spilling over the front, then something taller in the back, it's going to look amazing. So let's go ahead and get these planted and get it watered, and then I'll show you what makes this planter kind of unique, and we'll get it back into its place here. Alright, so the nice thing about planting this right here is I can actually sit here on the step, and yeah, makes it a lot easier. So let me start grabbing some plants and planting. So I'm going to start here at the front, which this is the side that will be viewed the most, and then I'm going to kind of work my way back. So the first thing that I have to go in is the Ipomoea, or ornamental sweet potato. That's a lot easier to say. But you can see that it's already starting to vine. So what I'm going to do, since it's already kind of growing out this way, I'm going to plant it so it can just continue to grow in that direction. So we'll give the pot a nice little squeeze here. And, oh, come on. There we go. We've got some nice root growth here at the bottom. I'm going to kind of break these roots up just a little bit where they were starting to circle. That'll encourage them to grow out some. There we go. I'll make the hole here for the lemon coral. And this again, I'm kind of planting to kind of encourage the direction that it's already growing, and just kind of encourage it to vine more in that general direction. All right. We're going to put our Prince Tut back here in the back, and then it's just a matter of filling in. This Prince Tut grass, it is really jammed in there good. The roots kind of grew out the bottom of the container, so let me pull those loose, and there we go. Alright, so now I have the rest of this area to fill in with our impatiens. We'll stick one right here in between these. It might get overtaken by these plants, but we'll just get a fuller looking container. All right, there we go. This planted up really nicely, and I think it's going to look pretty good here. I had these couple pots of phlox, and these are going to be going elsewhere in my landscape, but I just kind of put them down here to kind of visualize what some flowers would look like underneath of this. And I kind of like that, so I'm going to look for a couple containers, or maybe one big one or something that I can kind of put around it to kind of fill in this area. So right now we're kind of at the end of April, but there's still a danger of freeze and frost. So with any container like this, you want to be able to take it inside if we have an especially cold night. So the nice thing about this is it has handles on it. So if we have a freeze warning, I can simply pick it up and carry it inside. And this top part is just setting on these legs. So I can even just leave these setting, right here, and just carry the top part in if we get a freeze. So this is the fill, spill, and thrill method of creating a mixed container. Of course, you can just let your imagination run wild. I really didn't have a plan for what I was going to plant in this. I just basically went to Bob's Market in Gallipolis and looked at what they had and walked around. I knew what the lighting conditions were here, so I just started putting plants on a cart and kind of used the corner of the cart to represent this planter, and just kind of worked out a planting plan from there. So, you could do that when you go to the store. I know some people that plan out exactly what they want. I never really do that. I just sort of walk in and come up with ideas on the spot. So, well, until next time, keep growing.